Good evening, folks. And tonight we're going to talk about the stuff is lined, everything else, and I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas and hope it all went well for you. And hope you have a Happy New Year. Please drink responsibly. Don't do anything stupid that'll cost you something. That'll cost you your freedom and other stuff of that nature. Now, let's talk about what goes on here. Now, Texas obviously won single-handedly over Clemson, 38-24. Texas advances to take on 4th seed Arizona State. Texas wins. Texas is there in the Fiesta Bowl. I might have done a thing about this once, but we're going to dig a little deeper into this. Ohio State destroys Tennessee, 42-17. They'll take on Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Then Penn State annihilates SMU, 38-10. They'll take on Boise State in the Peach Bowl. And Notre Dame holds off Indiana, 27-17. They'll take on Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Now, how does this normally look for all these teams right now? Texas, I have beating Arizona State. I'm going to say 35-14. That's my predicament. I'm going to say Ohio State. That's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go Ohio State 31. This is a really tough. This has been a very tough decision for me to make on this one. Ohio State 38. Ohio State 31. If Ohio State comes with the same intensity they did with Tennessee, I could probably see a different score than what we did the last time. But if they came with the same intensity they did with Oregon the last time, Ohio State might pull it off with maybe a field goal win if Ohio State can actually get their crap together by kicking field goals. I mean, golly, that was terrible. We could have easily won that game against Michigan if we would have kicked the damn field goals. God. God almighty. Now, with that being said, I look for this to be like a 31. It'll either be 31-28 is what a lot of people are projecting, but if Ohio State comes storming out like I predict them to do, I'm going to say 28-17 Ohio State. Actually, 28-14 Ohio State. Ohio State wins 28-14 if they play strong defense like they did the last time against Tennessee, 28-14. And then you have Penn State and Boise State. That's a tough one. Even though Penn State's favored, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say Penn State. This is going to be a shootout game, personally. It's going to be Penn State 38, Boise State 35. Then you have Georgia and Notre Dame. Another good game. Georgia, I have a prediction, will win by a final score of 45 to, I'm going to guess 35. It's going to be a shootout. 45-35, I have Georgia beating Notre Dame. I mean, Georgia's defense just isn't there this year, but somehow they find ways to win. It's just, I don't know how they do it, but somehow they find ways to win. 45-35, I have Georgia winning in the Sugar Bowl. Now let's see if my predictions are right. But overall, I feel like, and then we'll do another segment on if these scores are correct, and if they are correct, then we'll move on from there. Now, who in your right mind thinks that? I mean, I gotta say, Boise State might be the upset view here. I mean, Boise State has been their running back. He's been a runner. He's put up so many different numbers than what anybody can ever talk about. He was a Heisman runner-up. I mean, that guy can run. If Penn State's run defense can actually stop him, they might have a chance, but I don't know. That's why I'm saying 38-35, and that's literally what almost exact number was with Oregon was. They literally lost. Oregon literally beat them 37-34. If Boise State can actually sustain a good defense and actually play a good game, this might be a very good game. But I don't think it'll... But if Boise State plays a very good game like they did with Oregon, unless they play better than they did against Oregon, Boise State might come out and win. It might be Boise State 35, Penn State 31. I don't know. I mean, that might be the final score in that game, but I don't know. I mean, that's a rough drafting guess. But Penn State's projected to win that game. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't see how that is even possible. I mean, Boise State, I think, and it's the first time the two ever met, so. And Notre Dame and Georgia, oh, it's bound to get very ugly. I mean, you obviously know there's a lot of anger in Ohio State right now. Everyone knows Ohio State is pissed. And then if Ohio State has to play either Texas or Arizona State, we all know there's going to be a lot of anger between Ohio State and Texas. But obviously, if Arizona State wins, there's going to be a lot of anger between Arizona State, because last time the two met was in '97 Rose Bowl, and Arizona State lost 20-17. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of revenge in the pockets there. And the winners between Arizona State, Texas, and Ohio State and Oregon, the winner there will advance to the Cotton Bowl. And then down below, Penn State, Boise State winner, and Notre Dame and Georgia winner will advance to the Orange Bowl. I worded it wrong the last time I said how this would all work out. So I apologize for that part. Then obviously the winners there will advance to the national title game. And there you will find out who your absolute winner will be. I mean, I'm going on a limb here. If Ohio State beats Oregon, the sky's the limit for Ohio State. Ohio State will probably most likely be the national champion. I mean, it literally just looks that way. If Ohio State does beat Oregon, then Ohio State's would most likely be the champ. I mean, unless Georgia does something to themselves. I mean, literally, Penn State, it's like they all say, it's really hard to beat a team 2 times in 1 year. It's so hard to do that. Back when I was in high school, I'm going to throw this story out there. My junior... No, not my junior. It was my sophomore year, if I remember right. I can't recall. But we had literally a very strong roster. My girls' basketball team, who were Final Four, who went to the Final Four, 2000-2001 season. Excuse me there. They all went to the Final Four, and they made it. Unfortunately, they lost the first round. Well, they made it all the way to the Final Four. We lost to Pickerington both games. We took on number 1 Pickerington. Top-ranked team Pickerington. And we beat them 54-51. And we advanced to the championship. And we advanced to the Final Four. That's just how good Pickerington really was back then. I mean, they're still good to this day. That's just how good Pickerington really was. I mean, boys on the other hand, they've kind of been down the dumps. Now they were down the dumps back in those days. I mean, we literally controlled Pickerington for a good long time. Now they control us because we can't win games for diddly. But back onto this subject, that's literally what this is all about between Ohio State and Oregon. It's almost like it's really hard to beat a team twice because they already know what you're like. They already know how you do certain things to certain extents. So it's almost like we can't really pull the same magic out of the hat like we did the last time. We gotta pull something else out, because if we pull the same magic out of the hat like we did the last time, they're gonna know what it is. You gotta pull something else out of the hat. Because obviously Oregon threw everything they had at us the last time. We already know they got a very good passing game. They literally got the best damn quarterback in the country right now. Because Dylan Gabriel's gone after this year. He transferred out of Oklahoma. I mean, if we can beat them, that would be great. And of course, everyone's going to say, well, we lucked out. That's literally everyone's excuse was saying Ohio State, why Ohio State is overrated. Well, let me explain something to you. You can say Ohio State's overrated all you want. But it is what it is. Well, with that being said, it's going to be a good game. Ohio State and Oregon will be a very good game. So will Texas and Arizona State, Penn State and Boise State, Notre Dame and Georgia. But now the question is, who do you think do you think Boise State belongs? Do you think Arizona State belongs? That's my question to you. Final score will tell us everything. Comment down below if you think either one of those two teams belong. Comment down below if you think Clemson, Tennessee, SMU, or Indiana even belong. With that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. And with that being said, peace. I'm out of here.